Last quick video for today. So we now have three different forms for our quadratic equations. We have standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. We have factored form, which is x minus some number or plus some number, and then times x plus or minus some other number. And then our newest one is vertex form, a times x minus h all squared plus k. So what are the things we can find given each one of these forms? If you remember, plus a, this value right here, tells us whether or not our parabola opens up, or if it's negative a, we know our parabola is going to open down. Same a value, positive opens up, negative opens down. The c value at the end of this equation, that is our y-intercept. So that will tell us where it crosses the x-axis, where it crosses the y-axis, so our x will be 0. Whatever this c value is goes here, and that's our y-intercept. Okay? Factored form. Factored form is what we used when we wanted to find where it crosses the x-axis. So we were using that to find our x-intercepts. The other words we used for x-intercepts were zeros or roots. It all means the same thing. The way we did that was using zero product property. Zero product property says if two things are being multiplied and they're equal to 0, then at least one of those two things must equal 0. So either the factor of x minus m equals 0, or the factor of x minus n equals 0. And then we used our algebra skills to solve that. So here we did addition property of equality, and we took whatever number was there, and we added it to both sides, and 0 plus m would end up being whatever m was. So if you remember, the root is actually the opposite of the number that's in this parenthesis. And then the same is going to happen here. We're going to use addition property of equality again. Sometimes it'll be subtraction property of equality, but the process is the same, just adding versus subtraction. And over here, oh, this should have been an n. You're going to get the n value as your final answer. So I should have added an n on both sides here. And you get your two roots. Now remember, the location of the vertex is directly between x and n. So we looked at a number line and said, okay, well, if this is our m value where it crosses the x, and this is another value of where it crosses the x, I can split that in half, and I know the location of my vertex is going to be directly between the two of them. And so we took that distance and divided it by 2, and then we just counted from one side or the other, and that would give us the x-coordinate of our vertex. Now what we know is that if we have it in vertex form, we're actually given the location of our vertex with these two numbers. And just like back here in factored form where the root ends up being the opposite of the number in the parenthesis, the coordinate for x in our vertex is the opposite of this number in the parenthesis. So if h was positive, then for your vertex it would become negative. If it was negative, it would become positive. But the y-coordinate just stays whatever this value is at the end. So this is now the coordinate of my vertex. I still have my a value here. Again, if it's positive a, we know the parabola is going to open up. If it's negative a, we know the parabola is going to open down. And for any one of these forms, if you want to find the y-intercept from factored form or vertex form, we can always let x equal 0 and do out some basic mathematics and find where this parabola is going to cross the y-intercept. Okay? So quick review. You can use these notes as you go along. No new content today. Back at it tomorrow. Have a great morning. Have a great day. I'll see you all soon.